Hi guys, welcome back to MyFaction Reaction. You're here with Nathan once again. I want to take a few minutes and talk about something that I've been requested for a long time. Currently, when I'm posting grind videos, I'm posting like, here's the best of the grind videos. Like your best possible option for grinding as much MFP as possible. The problem is, and you guys have let me know that you guys don't all have these cards available to you. Um, which makes sense. Some of you guys just started with the Switch. Some of you guys might have just picked the games on sale, so you've missed these live events. And so a lot of the cards which I'm using to grind at the moment, you guys just may not have the option to get. So what I wanted to do was put together a list or a grind that would work for somebody who's just new to the game with accessible cards. Now, what do I mean by accessible cards? So there will be no live event cards included in this video. There will be no collector rewards included in this video. There will be no cards as a collection set. So one for getting like 5 of the Bloodline set or whatever it comes to that. So these are cards that are only available through World Tour or able to be purchased in the card market itself. So yeah, essentially that was my goal here, is put something together. If you're brand new, day one to the game, and you started wanting to grind, here's the cards you need to pick up that will help you support that. Now, that being said, you might start subbing some of these cards out as you go along, and we'll talk about why I chose these specific cards. And just to be clear, this is not going to net a huge amount of MFP compared to some of these other cards that we're using in the game that we've been able to get through collection rewards or sets, finish off collection sets, or through the live event cards, because they just have better badges, unfortunately. That being said, as you start seeing those come up and you're able to get those, you'll be able to improve your grind even further. That being said, let's jump in and we'll take a peek at the cards we're talking about here. All right, so let's talk about the card lineup that we've got going on here. So, first up, we've got Demastered AJ Styles. He's available in the card market, 25,000 MFP. Now, that is the current price, I believe. All the Ruby cards were going for that amount. I actually don't have any these cards in my marketplace or the Ruby cards in my marketplace, but I believe that's the cost. And if you're watching this in a few weeks, you might even see it lower because as new card types enter the marketplace. So when Pink Diamonds do, there could be a price drop even further on these cards, depending upon when you're looking at this video. Now, that being said, I want to call your attention to the bar we have at the bottom of the screen. These are the badges you want to look for within the cards that you're going to be using for grinding. So in this case, we're looking for Bee Repellent, Curls, Going In Hot, Leg Day, Locomotion, Six Pack, Sting Like a Bee, and Swiftness. All of these, and depending upon the tier, will grant you MFP at the beginning of the match. The other two, Quick Winner and Unscathed, will get you MFP after the match is finished if you've met those qualifications, but for a quick grinding match, you're always going to. So, that being said, AJ Styles has Locomotion. It's an Amethyst badge, so you're going to get 8 points, MFP points, for having him on here. That being said, we don't have him on here for getting MFP. You have him on here to do a signature to help you gain a finisher with your team. That's the important part about why he's in the squad here. Next up, we've got Booker T. Now, Booker T is available in the World Tour under Atlanta. He's in the third section of matches. In the third match is the reward. So you do have to play a little bit of World Tour to get him, but very, very useful. So he gives you Sting Like a Bee, and you're going to get 2 points for that level of Sting Like a Bee. But he's also got Rabble Rouser on there. So you're going to get 15 points for doing a taunt, which we're going to do. And once again, you're going to use his signature. It's a very quick signature to help keep the grind at a short level. Next up, we've got Diamond Gunther. So this is our most expensive card that I put in this lineup here. And I put it on just because it's probably some of the best value for MFP, but the card is more expensive in the marketplace. Now, as I do own the card, I don't know the exact price. It's either going to be 120,000 MFP or 92,750 MFP. The diamonds seem to be either of those two prices. I think he's probably 120,000, honestly. But he gets you 35 points of MFP just for entering the match. As you can see, he's got that Sting Like a Bee and Locomotion badge in gold, so they'll get you 15 each. And then he's also got a 6-pack in the tier 2 level, so you're going to get 5 MFP points, bringing you to a total of 35 MFP. He's literally just sitting on the sidelines helping you get MFP while you're doing your grinding. Finally, we've got WrestleMania Gunther. So WrestleMania Gunther, has Stain Like a Bee in 5. He's not here to gain you MFP. He's here to finish the match quickly. When you're looking at his paybacks, he has Rage as his payback, which is going to allow you to turn your signature into a finisher. That's going to get you the full 3 finishers so that you can lock on Gunther's super finisher and finish the match. So once again, this is not the best performing team you're going to find, but I think out of entry-level cards and trying to get it done quickly so you can repeat it over and over again, this is probably one of the better lineups that you're going to find. If you guys have better suggestions, let me know in the comments about who you'd be using here instead. And you're fully welcome, if you've got better cards, to switch them out. And we're going to talk about better cards in a second and a resource I have for you guys to access near the end of the video. So you don't want to miss that. That being said, let's flip it right over and we'll show you how the grind goes. All right, guys, we're back in our normal match that we use for grinding. This is the one problem in LA. So you need to make sure you unlock Los Angeles and you get to the one problem, which is the final set of matches. And we're actually going to go right to the final match. This is the one we always use for grinding. You get a signature for every time you tag in and out. And your team gains finishers together. So with the Team Spirit edition on it. So this is our best option for grinding. So we're going to load in here and we're going to go through the grind here quickly so you guys can see what you need to be doing. All right, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to tag in Booker T. Booker T is immediately going to do a signature here. Now we're going to do Booker T taunt and then we're going to switch to AJ Styles and AJ is going to do his signature there. We now switch back to Booker T. We're going to bring in Gunther. Gunther's going to do a quick taunt. We're going to do his Rage by R2 and Triangle. You can now see he has a super finisher. We're going to bring in Booker T just to run interference here. So, and that's the grind there. So, once Gunther locks on his super finisher, it will generally be done pretty quickly. So you can see we got 556 MFP here. Once again, not the highest. You'll see some of my videos where we're running 720 per match. As you get better cards and we update the grind, as long as you keep doing live events, you should get some better cards to slot into some of these positions down the line. So let's do another run through of it here so you guys can see it. All right. So once again, we'll tag in Booker T. Booker T will do his signature here. He's going to do his taunt. We're going to get to AJ. AJ's going to do his dive there. We're going to get back to Booker T. We're going to tag in Gunther. Gunther's going to do a quick taunt. He's going to do his Rage. He's going to put his signature on. And then we're going to have Booker T run in for interference here. And then that's it. Now, if you're quick enough and you can potentially lock on a rock bottom finisher with, or I guess bookend, it would be bookend with Booker T there. If you can lock on the bookend, you might even be able to get 15 extra MFP to whoever's running in the ring there. Now, we'll do it one more time quickly. All right, so we're going to tag in Booker T. Booker T will do his signature. He's going to do his taunt. We're going to get AJ to do his signature. We're going to get back to Booker. We're going to tag in Gunther. Stand away from the turnbuckle a little bit. Otherwise, Gunther will do his turnbuckle taunt here, which takes quite a bit longer. We'll do his Rage. We're going to go right to our super move. Then we're going to bring Booker T in, and he will run interference for whoever logs in. And that's it. Depending upon how quick you do this, this will range from 24 to 27 seconds. But you're always going to get consistently 556 MFP. Now, that being said, you will want to upgrade these cards. These are not the cards you're going to want to do this with forever. As I have new grinds coming out, you're going to want to pay attention to that and see if you potentially have those cards, especially as you start doing more live events, because potentially could get them. There's some really great cards. Well, really good cards for grinding. And maybe, and the best way to put it is the better cards we've seen in 2K25 for grinding. Because we haven't had like a super huge grinding card. I guess Penta as the new collection set reward for Fearless is probably the best card we've gotten, but still lacking some of those major grinding badges that we want to see. But this is a good option to get you started early on in the game while you're waiting for those live event cards. All right, so let's talk about that resource that I was mentioning earlier. So within the MyFaction Reaction Discord, the team there, including a few prominent key members, have really worked together on putting a list together in terms of what cards get you the best MFP. Now, this is a new resource. It is pinned in our grinding section as well as the main WWE 2K25 section if you're looking for it. And they're going to work on keeping this updated as new cards come in. But essentially what it is a list of Amethyst, Diamond, Pink Diamond, and Galaxy Opal cards and how much MFP you'll get from having them in the match. So in this case here, you can see that we've got Penta as the number one. We talked about him earlier. So Penta is the collection set reward for Fearless. Just for putting him in the match, you get 68 MFP. So it's really solid. Like, it's a really solid card just for having it in there. Javon Evans. Now, Javon Evans was one of the Diamond Plus cards. You had to get the Amethyst version, then do the Javon Evans Rumble, which I believe is still active and will be active for a little bit longer if you did want to do that. But that card's badges, and you can go across here when you're using the sheet and actually see the badges there. So they've got it listed how many points you get with that badge and what it gives you. So in this case here, you're going to get 15 for bee repellent, 15 for going in hot, and 15 for sting like a bee. So, and then it's got some other ones. So easy MFP badges. So in this case, you just have to climb the turnbuckle to get these 15 points for Born to Fly. And he gets 8 points for Quick Climber there. So you can kind of go through these cards here and see which ones you may have and how they may fit into your grinding lineup. Here's the Heat Wave card we talked about that we have in this grind. Like I said, it's a little bit more expensive, but it gives you 35 MFP just for standing on the apron. It's too bad that card didn't have Rage. Otherwise, it would replace Gunther, and you could put another card in its place. The WrestleMania Gunther, sorry. And you could put it in its place. But it makes it a little bit harder to do the grind without that Rage there. So, yeah, essentially, you can go through here, and it's sorted by MFP. So, and what's going to get you the most MFP. And you can see the color coding here. So, pink is going to be the pink diamonds. Just clear is the diamond cards. The purple is the amethyst, and then the black is the Galaxy Opal card. There's only one available in the game right now, and that's for the Roman Reigns collector level. Very few people would have that. It's going to tell you how you get the card. So what set was it a part of? What set was it a part of? Is it a live event? And if it's a live event and you don't see it, it probably means that you don't have access to it anymore. But it does allow you to go through based on live events you've done to see, is there something here that I can slip out and put in something different? So you go through here, you'll be able to access it through the MyFaction Reaction Discord. The reason we have it there is to make it as easy for you guys as a community to be able to grind MFP. So, and to break down the math as easily as possible. So I really hope this helps you guys for people who, oh, and I should mention too, that they've also gone through and gotten all the women's in here as well. So men's and women's. Unfortunately, we don't have a good women's grinding match, and that is the bigger problem to trying to grind with the women. I think the men have the better cards anyways when you're going to look at the overall numbers, but we don't even have a great women's match to grind with, which is the other problem right now. So, but both men and women are in there, and if you want to try and find a women's grind that works for you, let me know. I'd be very, very curious to talk about that. But I hope this helps you guys out. I hope these resources do. If you want to get access to this, we'll have a link to our Discord in the description of the video. So go ahead and click on that and join the Discord, and you'll have access to these resources. They're going to be in the grinding group on our Discord, and I'm going to keep this pinned in this. Like I said, when new sets and new cards come out, they'll update it with these. They'll update it with the spreadsheet with those new cards, so you can actually see what's in there. And then I'll continue to do grinding videos. So make sure you hit that like button and that you hit that subscribe button. So when we do those grinding videos, that you get access to them. The other thing we do on this channel is a lot of live streaming, whether it's live events. Sometimes they'll do faction wars. Sometimes they'll just do live stream grinding. And I have that happen a lot during my live streams. They'll be like, can you show me how you grind again? And we'll talk about it in real time during the session. So I don't want you guys to miss that. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Let me know, leave a comment. Was this helpful to you? Do you have easily access to these cards? If you're going to switch one of these cards out, what would you switch it out for? If what would you switch out for? Let me know. Anyways, guys, have a great day. Thank you guys so much, and we'll talk later. Bye.